Really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flaws, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Hi, Bullhorn Betty. Thank you for my shirt. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Kids Club.
I'm Jennifer Santanello, and this is Layla. She's my firstborn child. She's the child that made me a mother. If my girl is out there somewhere, I would like for these stories to reach her. She seems to have vanished, and we have been investigating her disappearance for almost 3 months now. We need more eyes on her story. We need to shine a light and get her story out of just this small town that it's in. I am here to implore you to share and talk about our girl. If my girl is no longer with us, I would like for those who know what happened to her to feel the pressure.
What inspired you to this particular case?
I'm always interested in stuff like this. Obviously, talking to you about the Summerwell stuff like that, I'm always trying to be on the right side and help people that are hurting. But her being local, and like I told her, my son's 25 and Layla ain't too much younger, so
Yeah,
it could
so
be anybody from Kingsport. It's the way I
could.
look at it, you know.
Yeah,
And more people should be here helping her, as far as I'm concerned.
I agree.
Many of us came from all over the country to help Jennifer Santanello look for her daughter. Can you help? If you know something, say something.
So apparently, if you treat people like they treat you, they get upset. Shocker.
Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Summer Wells went missing on June 15th, 2021. She was only 5 years old at the time of her disappearance, and when she disappeared, she was at her home at 1110 Ben Hill Road. My friend Chronicles of Olivia and I have visited this area many times in the past, searching for Summer Wells. To date, she has never been seen or heard from again. At the beginning of the case, her parents, Don Wells and Candace Bly, came under heavy scrutiny at their possible involvement in their daughter's disappearance. Prior to Summer's disappearance, she was at the waterhole with her mother, her grandmother, and a family friend. The family friend described an event that happened at the waterhole where Summer went underwater and he had to go pull her out. Later that day is when she disappeared, leaving many to believe that something at the waterhole is what may have caused the events that unfolded at the home. The odd behavior of the parents after the disappearance of their daughter also raised concerns among the people watching this case play out. To date, Don Wells, Candace Bly, and Candace Harrer have never been cleared in the disappearance of Summer Wells. Chronicles of Olivia and I continue to search high and low, abandoned buildings, and everywhere we can find, desperately searching for the whereabouts of Summer Wells. If you have seen Summer Wells or know her whereabouts, or any information leading to her whereabouts, you are asked to call 1-800-TBI-FIND. Can you help us find Summer Wells?
So there we have it, folks. There we have it. Good morning.
Summer Wells went missing.
Stop. Let me kill it. Well, good morning to all of my beautiful people here on YouTube. And we are running live on Twitter as well. So hi, everybody from Twitter. I am Bullhorn Betty. It's nice to see you. We're a little late this morning. No big deal. I'm doing my panther. So now we're here. Good morning, Skittles Crime. It's nice to see you. It's me, Jen, followed by Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. MJ, it's nice to see you. November Rain. Janie, it's nice to see you. Good morning, cutie. It's nice to see you as well. Lady 7 Up, good morning. Mama, Alabama Mama 4. Mama Bullhorn in the house. I'm just joking. She's not my mom. Okay, don't go and attacking her. Okay, she's seriously not my mom. She's a mom of 4. I've got 2 sisters. So just FYI, not my mom. I just probably brought a lot of hate to you. I am so sorry. She's gonna kill me. Unicorn Indiana, it's nice to see you. Sweetie Pie, good morning. Southern Grammy Wolf is up in the house. My beautiful dumpling. Good morning. Kim, it's nice to see you. Who else do we have? Sweet Misery. She's going to have PTSD now. I'm showing her the hat. Where is it? There you go, Sweet Misery. A big old kiss from me to you. It's nice to see you. Second thesis. Good morning. Good morning. So it's nice to see you all here this morning. We got a few things to go over. As you see, I was busy this morning. The reason why I'm so late is because I was going to actually push this until like noon. I'm just like, I was up until ridiculously late. I think I stayed up. Well, I went to bed at like, I don't know, 8:30 like I normally do, but then I woke up around midnight or around 12:30, and then of course I was watching YouTube. Next thing I know, it's like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. It's time for my butt to go to bed. You know, I had already had some sleep, so I only needed a couple more hours of sleep. And I got up one time and I looked at it. I'm like, do I really want to get up and paint on a happy face and get right to work? And I'm like, you know what? I could stay here and have bedhead. And oh, there's Susanna. Thank you, Susanna. Hold on a second. I got to do something with you. You're in trouble. You're in trouble, Susanna. You're in so much trouble. It's just, you're in trouble. I'm just joking. I just had to mod you. You were one of the ones. I think, who else still needs to be mod? I think Guidance and Miss Robin might be the only two that need to still be modded. Oh, no, Miss Robin's done. So anyways, we're going to get back. You know me, I'm a one and done type of chick with everything going on and letting the chips just fall where they were from yesterday. We're not going to be rehatching it. We're just going to move on. We're going to move on and get back to work. That's what we do here. Just a minor stumbling block and what have you, because there's just a bunch of jerks on YouTube. I mean, period. That's just all there is to it. You know, people can choose to wake up every morning and come here with love and just wanting to do better, or they can come here with hate and destruction. And so we're going to always stay on the good side. We'll let them stay on the destructive side and just keep moving forward, right? So that's where we are. Chris, I found out something. I think I am going to go ahead and I'm not going to send this back. I think I'm going to go ahead and send this on to Grayson, because I found out that these things interlock together. So he'll actually have a bigger track with the two than with the one. So I'm just going to, bundle them together and put a little bow like together so the mom knows that they're together. But I saw that, and then It's Me Too reached out to me. And so we were talking about the track, and it all goes together. So it just extends it. It just makes it bigger. So I think it'll still be cool. I think the actual one is kind of, it's. I think it'll be nicer to have the bigger, and he'll be able to design it the way he wants to and add the pieces. So I actually think it's going to be very good. Positive attitude. Thank you. Star Baby LG. Let's make sure. Oh, thank you, Alabama Mama 4. I appreciate that. God bless you. So for all the people that are new over here to the Bullhorn Betty channel, I'm going to call it the Bullhorn Betty channel because it's just an extension. We're down on the main channel. We needed to build up the watch time over here anyways. We're going to be doing something different with this channel, in the next month or so, probably a little sooner than that, depending on, the whole account thing on the main account. So we'll see how that all works. I'm not concerned about the account being taken. Okay. The account over false strikes is not going to be taken. It's an inconvenience, a hurdle that will be overcome. It's just that I don't want it to be a continuation and a continuance. I'm keeping the once those videos come back live, I'm keeping them up. I'm never going to remove them. And, I'm going to keep pushing forward because I just think it was unethical to do that, especially knowing everything that we know about the case. And not only that, but we're, when we go into these cases, we're there to try to stay out of law enforcement's way. We're not trying to interfere or hinder what law enforcement's doing because we need them to investigate the case. So again, when they tell us specifically, don't go over places, like we never overstep. When it comes to Layla's case, I try to insulate because of everything that Jennifer has gone through. I try to protect her as much as possible. So I don't really, to be honest with you, I really don't like her being, on giving interviews on YouTube, personally speaking, unless it's an absolute reputable place, I really don't want her speaking because I just feel like people try to twist and turn and burn her words out of context. She seems to be having some hate coming from her ex and his his girlfriend. I just want to make sure we clarify that Brittany is not, and I want to repeat that, is not Layla's mother or stepmother. She's not even married to George. So it is a person in her life, and it's it's her husband's, her ex-husband's, or her father's girlfriend, and she's an important person. But a lot of articles are referring to her as her mother, and I just want you to think about how insulting those mistakes are to her mother, right? To her real mother, the one that gave birth to her, the one that's had to sit here and watch all of this go on for her daughter, and then be there alone, taking care. Granted, she has Opie, but is it right? Did I say that right? I've only met him once. He's a real sweet guy. I mean, I've got to tell you, she has a great support system. But, again, it really upsets me that we were specifically told, because we never do anything without Jen. If I want to go to an area, I talk to her about, because I know that she's not giving us information. So, for example, if law enforcement is telling her private details, I can promise you she's not sharing those details with us. What she is sharing with us is when I call her and I tell her, like, say, an area I want to search. Or I want to go buy, say, a house just to take a look at the area. She will, make sure that I know, if I, particular people, because typically she knows where I'm going, right? She'll say, please don't, you drive by is fine, leave it there. And we honor that. Again, we're there to try to help. We're not there to hinder. We're not there to step on toes. We're not there to get involved in a criminal investigation. We're there searching for a person. If we find any information, any leads or any tips, we immediately turn those over to law enforcement. For example, Holland, we've got all those videos that I had sent to law enforcement. Law enforcement has not yet even opened one of those videos. I can see on my end because I see it through WeTransfer. So when I send it through WeTransfer, it shows me that it's been uploaded and submitted. And then when the person looks at it, I'm notified again. When it's downloaded, I'm notified again. It hasn't even been opened. The email itself hasn't even been opened. And I submitted it yesterday afternoon. I even called the detective to let him know, to get his address or his email address, and to let him know that this was coming his way. And I explained to him the situation. We just never had anybody, that we've went to several locations and it seemed like they had recently seen her. So, we're not saying that it's her by any stretch of the imagination. We don't want to provide false hope to the family. Like I said, when we went into this community, we were looking at a very grim case, one that was a little different than Layla's. Our assessment was that this was a domestic violence situation, that something domestically happened to her, and whatever, that's, you guys know where I stood on that. It was, I didn't think she was going to come home. So that was kind of our somber reality going into Kingsport when we were dealing with the Holland snap. We had already made the assessment. We've already reviewed a lot of the details with that case. And it really looked like she's gone. So it's not that she may not be, it's not that she may be, we don't know. There's not enough information, I can tell you, to lean one way or another, or if there is, law enforcement's not sharing it. Holland's case is one that I am more hopeful for than any other case that we've been to in the last 2 years. I can promise you that. This is, again, the first time, but we did learn. There's one thing that I forgot to ask, and I didn't even think of it at the time, was the fact that Holland is very short. So is Layla. They're both about 4'10". So I think, from my understanding, that there may be a lady that looks like Holland but is taller. So the one thing I forgot to ask was the height of the person that they saw. It's just one of those things, right? I forgot. Or I wasn't thinking about it at the time. We're kind of in dangerous areas. You kind of have to have eyes in the back of your head. Sometimes you're just not thinking, you're not firing on all cylinders in certain situations. And we were out there in this hotel looked almost abandoned. Surprisingly, it's not abandoned, but it sure looks like it. It should be condemned. either way, it was just one of those things I just didn't think. And I spoke to like 3 or 4 different people, and they all said that, and I never thought about it. It wasn't until I spoke to Leslie, and she said, "Did you ask about the height?" And that's when when it dawned on me that that was a detail that I should have probably asked. Either way, I'm sending the stuff over to law enforcement, and it has the people's face. You know, law enforcement can look at it and go talk to the people and have follow-up questions, but we just need them to open the damn video or the email. You know, if they can just open the email, you know, maybe something can, because I told the family, you know, once it's sent, give them a couple days to review the footage, and do whatever they need to do with it to see if it holds water or not. Again, the one thing I would never want to do is provide a family false hope, especially when they're already coming to acceptance that, you know, a situation may be one way or the other. But it's kind of hard for me to look the other way when it wasn't just 1 or 2 people that said it. It was several people that said it. So it to me, it's a credible lead to law enforcement, several credible leads to law enforcement that may help. So I'm just interested to find out about that. There's a couple of things that are, is this? I think I just went the wrong way. No, that is the right one. This is just 12 minutes ago. There's something going on with Gabby Petito. I know a lot of people reached out to me yesterday with the WFLA story that was being aired. And here it is. Here it is. And it's just basically saying, I'm just going to read it for you so there's no misunderstandings. The attorney for Gabby Petito's family says Brian Laundrie's parents have admitted that their son told them in the days after killing the 22-year-old fiance in 2021. No, let me back up here. And I want to bring something up. You know, when we were out there in front of the laundry house, I have to tell you that that's one of the first things that we found out. There was a stop. We didn't know if it was to Bertolino or to another attorney. It sounds like there was another attorney he went and visited. But when we tracked his time from the time they believed Gabby had met her demise to the time that Brian Laundrie showed back up at the Laundrie residence on September 1st, there was a big chunk of time from his travels coming to Florida. There's a big chunk. It was somewhere, depending on which route he took, 75 hours to 125 hours that were missing from his trip, a significant amount of time, you know, several days. So I always thought that he went to New York to meet with Bertolino. I just made that assumption that he went to New York to meet with Bertolino. It didn't really matter. You know, we knew that the time was missing. We knew that he was doing damage control and due diligence during that time. And we assumed that, you know, we had to make that assumption because that's what the information was leading us to. And it was at that point that we realized that Brian Laundrie's parents would have had to know of Gabby's demise before he made it home. And if you recall, that was one of the things that we were yelling at the Laundrie family on my bullhorn, right? I was on my bullhorn yelling at the Laundrie family saying, when did you really find out about Gabby? Why didn't you answer the phone to the parents? Who did he go see for that 75 to 120 hour time window, right? And now we're kind of reading this article from WFLA and basically learning that he knew and informed his parents. Not he knew, his attorney knew, and his parents knew. Like 2 days after the Gabby being gone, right? She's gone, and he's freaking out. Bertolino knew it. This is why Bertolino is added to the lawsuit. It's this whole situation right here, because typically in a situation like this, it's very, very difficult to add an attorney to a lawsuit because an attorney represents clients. So they have to weigh the best interest of their client against, you know, what is going on. So they have attorneys have, you know, a level of protection to allow them to do their job, because they wouldn't be able to do their job effectively if they were constantly, you know, arrested or charged or, every time their clients did something, it's an ethical situation. It's an ethical argument, but it's very, very hard to get an attorney added to a civil lawsuit for representing his attorneys. Okay. However, the reason why, if you guys remember, we had a lot of legal scholars all over the internet talking about how this is unheard of. This is unprecedented that an attorney be added. We had all the attorney talking heads that are now broadcasting news and analyzing and stuff like that. They were, they're attorneys. So they were all up in arms about it because they've never heard. I have heard about it. I live in Florida. It wasn't the first time, but these were the elements that I was looking at because I made the statement that he most likely will be added to that lawsuit. Even though all of the major legal minds across YouTube and on mainstream media was saying there was no way this was going to happen. And everybody was like, listen to Betty, ha, ha, ha. She still doesn't know what she's talking about. And then Pat Riley goes to court and argues this. And guess what? Bertolino is added to that lawsuit. How did I know that? Because I knew he knew about this. And he still gave that family false hope. And he cannot do that. He cannot do that. That violated, his ethical and professional obligation. He should have just kept his mouth shut. If he would have just kept his mouth shut, like he keeps telling his clients, they would not, this right here wouldn't have happened. Because Bertolino is the one that knew about it. He was the one representing the family. And he's the one, after knowing that Gabby was no longer here, giving the family false hope. Now, I got to tell you, the Laundrie parents were no cakewalk. They were horrible. They were horrible. You have a family. First of all, I just want you guys, most of you ladies in my chat and the guys, you guys have grown kids, right? I'm sure at one point in time, when your child was getting to that age where they were moving out for the first time or getting that new love interest, we're always, happy for them. But we always know, because we have life experience, that things happen. And so we're always concerned with our precious cargo going out into the world. And so you have this family that trusted their precious cargo, Gabby Petito, in this other family's care, because even though she was an adult, she's still living at home with somebody's parents. So in fairness, if you were a parent of a young girl and say boyfriend and girlfriend are trying to save money and they're playing house, and you knew that parents were there, let's face it, you'd feel a little more comfortable and a little more at ease knowing that your child is at a house, even though they're playing house, with a mom and a father, kind of overseeing. You feel a little easier, you just do. And raise your hand if I'm making sense. Put a 1 in the chat. So they trusted the Laundries, all of them, mom, dad, and Brian, and boyfriend. Hey, PJ, it's nice to see you. Oh, you got to sit down for a whole 20 minutes. Well, sit down and grab a cup of coffee. Drink a cup of coffee with me, babe. We're just kind of chilling. That's that smooth coffee music right there. So it's just, they knew, all of them. And not only that, but the parents, Gabby's dad calls, right? He calls the family. He's worried sick about his child. And he gets hung up on. What? I don't know how anybody could, face a situation like this. Your child, you're now realizing that your child most likely injured another individual, so much so that individual lost their life. The parents, whether he said that Gabby was gone or not, or whether he's told them directly that, he offed her, it doesn't matter. The parents knew. Okay, we talk about this all the time. We can go ahead and make excuses, and if you so choose, we can make excuses all day long. But they knew, and they lied. And then they put the family through pure hell just trying to find answers. If you're ever put in that situation, as difficult as it must be, I always believe honesty is the best policy in a situation like this. It's not your fault. You want to protect your child, but at what cost? You know what? Things would be so much different. I'm not saying that it would be. I think it would have been better all the way around. Actually, I'll be frank. If Brian Laundrie's parents had picked up the phone and said, "Look, I'm very, very sorry. We don't know what's going on. The shaking in the voice, the crying, the sobbing," and say, "Look, we don't know what's going on, but we just got really disturbing news that we think you need to know about." From a parent to a parent. And let the pieces fall where they're going to fall. You protect your child when they get back. You do everything you can. But think about it. If they had opened their mouth, by the time Brian got back home, he would have been arrested. And guess what? They would have saved their son's life. This shenanigans that they played, and I'm sorry, it sounds a little brutal, but it's true, at least for me, in my opinion. I truly believe because of their silence, their son is gone. Because they refused to do the right thing because it was the right thing to do. And they try to protect their son from being arrested. Look, guys, I'm sorry, but I would rather have a child in jail and know that they're safe and healthy and alive than knowing that they're gone, personally. And I've heard many people say that to me. So I have to think that there is a lot of people that believe that way as well. Not everyone, of course. Not everyone. There are some people out there that have a different opinion, like, that's no quality of life being in jail. I'd rather have my kid, go. And you'd kind of understand both arguments. It's not a horrible argument to have. It's just, different ways, different perspective, and different ways of analyzing the situation. So according to this, during the deposition for the upcoming civil trial between the two families, Christopher and Roberta Laundrie said in a frantic phone call on August 29th, 2 days after Petito was believed to have been murdered, that their son informed them that Petito was gone and that he needed a lawyer, according to the Petito attorney, Pat Riley. So I guess, even though he said gone, if he needed an attorney, his parents knew. His parents had to know that this was not good and that he had done something to her. And guys, I'm going to tell you something again. When it comes to Gabby Petito's, the house, the situation, we met several people out there on the roads that said they heard screaming coming from that house multiple times. They heard screaming, they heard fighting, and it wasn't the parents. It wasn't Roberta and Christopher Laundrie. It was Gabby and Brian. So this is where it begins. Obviously there was friction and prior hostility inside. Oh, hey, Mike, Pryor and Kelly, good morning. Who else do we have? Joy, good morning. So hostility in the house. And I'm sorry, but I have to think that they made a lot of excuses for their son's behavior. Because if mommy and daddy doesn't put up with domestic violence, mommy and daddy are not going to put up with domestic violence. So the first time that fight ensued inside that house, law enforcement would have been called and the kids would have been separated. But they never did that. They never called the cops once for domestic related situations that I'm aware of to that home. Yet we do have neighbors. It was more than one. So it's corroborated that there was, prior to them leaving for their trip, on multiple occasions prior to that, there had been heard screaming and yelling coming from that house. Riley said Christopher and Roberta did not admit to knowing that Petito had been killed, only that Brian said that she was gone. I'm sorry. That is a leap, but hey, I don't recall is perfectly fine for a deposition. According to the court documents, the deposition, Christopher and Roberta Laundrie then informed their longtime lawyer, Stephen Bertolino, that Petito was gone and that Brian was in need of an attorney. A retainer was sent to him 6 days later. Riley said he believed the Laundrie and possibly Bertolino were told more. He has filed motion to force Bertolino to reveal what Brian Laundrie told him. A hearing on that motion and whether Laundrie's attorney-client privilege should be upheld is scheduled December 20th in Florida's Sarasota Circuit Court. I want to know what Brian Laundrie told Bertolino, Riley said, or told Nexstar WFLA. He probably admitted more. And did Bertolino know where Gabby's body was located? And that's the primary concern, because he said, we hope you find her, safe and she's reunited with her family. And if he knew she was dead and knew where the location of the body, that kind of solidifies the outrageousness of that statement in the eyes of the law. A lot of people don't realize when we say a word like outrageous, we're just normal language like Webster Dictionary. We're talking about a ridiculous and outrageous event, right? But when it comes to legal terminology, it is legally defined of what outrageous is legally defined as. And you have case law that supports that definition, which is the precedent that sets it. So you've got the case law that says, certain aspects are outrageous. And you would think that making a statement like, we hope you find your daughter and you're reunited with your daughter seems, empathetic or polite. But in the eyes of the law, when that attorney did that, that was an outrageous statement, which is what caused him to be included into this lawsuit. He met the standard. And he was complicit. So, and he caused, it caused the additional intentional infliction of emotional distress on the family, because they were hopeful and searching and doing everything they can to find their loved one in hopes of being reunited with her. And the people that are telling them and giving them this false hope know she's dead, knows she's gone, and most likely knows where she may have been. If it wasn't for YouTubers Red, White, and Bethune, Gabby may have never been found. When we went out there, Olivia, Mom, and I, we went out to Spread Creek out in the Grand Teton National Forest. There was a grizzly bear with a cub 600 yards away from us, okay? These animals are very vicious and very territorial, especially with young cubs. And why they like live meat and they like live prey, she could have been gone and never found again, is what I'm trying to explain. So this was one of those things where all the stars and all the moons and all the prayers just aligned perfectly, and we were able to bring Gabby Petito home to her family with the use of YouTubers documenting their journeys. So I will always say thank you. And I say it again to Red, White, and Bethune. I don't know you, but God bless you guys for taking the time to go back through your footage, because we know darn good and well, without them, she may have never been found. She might have. I don't want to give false hope here. She might have been found, but she might not have. And especially if the situation was exactly the same, where we didn't have the information and Brian offed himself, we may have never found her. According to the court documents, the Petito family alleges that at the aftermath of Petito's killing, Brian Laundrie used Petito's phone to send text messages to her family in an attempt to deceive them. Among the texts sent, Brian Laundrie is believed to have sent a text to Petito's mother, Nicole Schmidt, about Gabby Petito's grandfather and referred to him as Stan. Schmidt has stated that Gabby Petito never called her grandfather by his first name and that the text was highly suspicious. Schmidt and Joe, Gabby's father, have sued the Laundries and Bertolino for intentional infliction of emotional distress, claiming that they were aware Gabby Petito was dead, but chose to do nothing other than release a statement expressing hope that she would be found. After several postponements, the trial is now scheduled to be heard in May 2024. So there's the whole Gabby Petito stuff. We all heard that the Laundries provided the Petitos with a settlement offer, and that settlement offer was not accepted by the Petitos. We will never most likely hear what those settlement offers are or were, but it wasn't acceptable to them. And in all fairness, I don't think that the Laundries have enough money to pay for the damages to the Petitos. I don't think they'll ever have enough money to pay the Petitos. So at this point, I don't think this case really is financially motivated. I mean, you know, financial motivation is usually to stop a behavior, you know, to prevent it from ever happening again in the future. But I think the Petitos, or excuse me, the Laundries had lied so much to everyone and put on a fake facade for so long that I truly believe, and I don't know this for a fact, this is just my opinion, but I truly believe that the Petitos are doing this for justice for their daughter, to let the world know truly what had happened inside that home and on the road, and just how culpable the Laundrie parents were in trying to cover up the crime. I think that's truly what this family, that's the justice they're seeking for this family. I don't think any financial compensation is really what the Petitos are seeking. Yes, it's part of the process. You know, it's part of the process. But I think the truth is truly what they're thinking. It's truly what they're they believe, you know, that they want exposed. Again, just my opinion. I haven't talked to them. I haven't interviewed them. We did all of our work in the front of that house, and we made sure it was recorded 24/7 by all the news outlets. So the messaging got back to the Petitos as it was supposed to. There was a lot of coverage. There was a lot of information that was uncovered out there. But this was one of the things we absolutely knew about back then. We screamed it from the rooftops with bullhorns. And again, another piece of this case that we had right. You know, it's hard work to get these details right long before the facts actually show, because there's still facts out there that support these things. Just because a law enforcement agent doesn't tell us, and just because a court doesn't tell us, doesn't mean we can't find the information ourselves, you know? So, and I kept telling everybody, you know, especially the people that were hating, I kept saying, you know, this is going to change, you know, you're going to find out in the end of this that we're going to be vindicated on everything that we did out there. Absolutely vindicated, because everything so far that we were screaming on our bullhorns, in all fairness, has come true. I also believe there's another case that we will be vindicated in as well. I absolutely do believe that. So getting on with our morning, right? We're getting on with our morning. Let's see, what else do I want? I don't like that one. Is that smallest violin, right? That's the one I meant to hit earlier today, and I hit this one instead. This is the one I like. It's hard not to laugh when you listen to that, isn't it? I guarantee when you hear it, It's just automatic. You get a smile on your face. I don't know how it works like that. It just does. You have a bad day, we just hit a button. That sounds like such an evil laugh. And then when it gets real bad, we start pushing the red button. Holy crap. When it comes to this one, we know we're in trouble, right?
Warning, bullshit alert.
Jen, your thought often, several times a day, I have to be honest with you.
That was bullshit.
No, it wasn't. I was being honest.
Bullshit detected. Take precautions.
Oh, I hope the pastors aren't in the room this morning. They're already praying. I can see it now. They're like, oh, help Betty. Oh, help Betty. I'll be praying after that. I didn't pray this morning. I don't know why. I didn't pray when I got up this morning like I usually do. I didn't realize it. Oh, which reminds me, we haven't read the language of letting go. Don't we feel funky when we don't read the language of letting go? Let's take a break before we move over to Alex Murdaugh and Becky Hill, the meat and potatoes of our live today. What day is it? December 5th. Jeez Louise. Oops, I'm hitting the wrong button and it's just pushing stuff up. Let's go back. I haven't read it, so it's going to be a surprise. It's going to be a surprise for all of us, isn't it? Okay. Let's see what it says. Oh, this is interesting. For December 5th. Gotta pull it back. It says, be happy now. Be happy now. This might be a good one. Hopefully I don't mess up the reading of it. So just bear with me. Time is what keeps everything from happening at once, the bumper sticker ahead of me reads. Maybe, I thought. I was racing back home from the computer store, busily doing my errands, trying to get things done. I noticed a restaurant and a shopping center to my right on the freeway. I'd been curious about the place for almost a year. Today, instead of driving by, I turned off the highway and pulled into the parking lot. I spent the next 3 hours browsing through the stores filled with antiques, trinkets, and gourmet food. Then I enjoyed a leisurely dinner, a juicy hamburger, and a chocolate malt at the restaurant before returning home. The store had always been there. I'd always driven past. Today I stopped, satisfied my curiosity, and enjoyed myself. It's easy to spend our lives walking tolls, convinced that we could only get there. Convinced that if we could only get there, we'd be truly happy then. Today is the only moment we have. If we wait until tomorrow to be happy, we'll miss out on the beauty of today. Have your plans, set goals. Let yourself be happy now. God, help me be aware of the joy that's in front of me now instead of waiting for tomorrow to bring me happiness. Aw, that is positive vibes, isn't it? Positive vibes. Right? Now we feel like I love my song. It's better than this one, though. I can't do it. I can't do the serious anymore. I've missed that 5 seconds. That's a good one. I like it. And I think the only other one is this one. This one. That's really all the music stuff I have. I don't think I have any other music. I have like little drums. Just having fun. So now that we're done playing around and horsing around, lightening it up, I thought this was pretty interesting. So, I have a lot of little subscriptions here, subscriptions there, subscriptions everywhere. Hurts my ears. I know. It says House Santa and the Elf this AM. It's good. Sounded like another one bites the dust. It's 8:24 in the morning. My son wants spaghetti. You know what? I was one of those type of kids. I don't know. Like for me, I don't know what it is about me. I'm a hot food person. I really don't like sandwiches. I mean, I do occasionally. If it's like roast beef, I love sandwiches. So don't get me wrong. I just don't like the bread. I'm just not a bread person, right? I have PTSD. You know, we got a lot of white bread running around here, a lot of white bread Karens running around here. So we don't want to, you know, I get PTSD. So I don't eat any bread, right? I don't eat any bread. I need to stop. Smack that face. And they do make hot sandwiches. I typically get them. Like I love pressed Cubans and stuff like that. But I typically don't eat cold food. You know, I'll eat a salad here and there. But I don't eat cold. I'm not really a cold. I like hot meals. So like at breakfast, it's got to be hot. Lunch, it's got to be hot. Dinner, got to be hot. I don't know. Drop it like it's hot. I don't know what to tell you. I'm a hot food eater. Okay. Occasionally I'll have cold food. Occasionally. So I was watching this thing on Alec Murdaugh, right? And I read it up. I've got this stuff. It notified me, and it basically says closing argument episode. Well, you know, I was out there. I wanted to see what was going on with the case, and so I started looking into it. Let me get it opened. And I liked it. I didn't like anything, but listen to this. It says here, for those who missed tonight's episode of Court TV's closing arguments with Vinnie Politan, good Lord, at 8 p.m., here's the link. And they do have the link. The guests were Will Folks from Fitz News, Matt Harris from Impact of Influence podcast, Neil Gordon, the co-author of Becky Hill's book, Lori S. Murray, who's a criminal defense and personal injury lawyer. And it's Lori on TikTok, lawyer Lori on TikTok. And so you're kind of reading through some of the comments that are here. And some of the comments are interesting, to say the least. And it basically says the ethics complaints are not anonymous. Neil kept saying they were, as if that meant they were not credible. So I see what, you know, and you guys know when this all came out for the new trial, I was in disbelief. I absolutely in disbelief, absolutely did not believe Alec's team. I just thought, you know, Dick and James are just, you know, taking care of their client, you know, doing their job, because this is their job, being pit bulls, you know, arguing over any little scintilla of information to fight for their client. That's what the attorneys are supposed to do. So I just thought it was lawyering, you know, trial strategy, appeal strategy, just strategy. And then I got the motion for new trial, and I started reading that. And when I read that, it was absolutely horrible. I came on here and I said, you know, this is not good. And then I started reading the affidavits, and I started poking some holes in the defense's case, you know, the holes that the state's going to poke through them. They probably think of more than I do, but, you know, it didn't matter. We were still poking holes in the defense's arguments, because those affidavits were talking about all the people, all the jurors. However, it was only 2 people that would testify to those statements that we know of, right? At the time, it was 2 people and only 2 people, 2 jurors. And they happened to be 2 jurors that were embarrassed or maybe felt humiliated or something like that. You know, so, but we just expected, after this stuff broke, I think we all kind of expected that if it really did happen, other jurors would come forward, because, you know, they were a very prayerful jury, right? They were a prayerful jury, and that means that they believe in God and doing the right thing, because let's face it, one of the reasons why we go to church, or we believe in a higher power or something, that is to be a better person, a better human being, do things a little differently or a little better. And a lot of people think that just because you're some kind of Christian, that you're just a floor mat and you just need to be this kind ginger person when somebody's standing all over you. I'm not that kind of Christian. I don't prescribe for anybody to be that kind of Christian. But these people out in South Georgia, in Low Country Georgia, South Carolina, they're God-fearing country folk. So if you knew that something was wrong, it's part of your value and moral system to kind of come forward, right? Even after some time has lapsed, you still want to, come forward, say maybe you just didn't want to acknowledge it, or you needed some time to pray over it. I do that a lot, where I'm saddled with a huge problem and I don't know how to fix it. So I pray over it. And somewhere along the line, the path forward is revealed. So it could be something like that. I don't know. Right? I don't know. But that's what they're saying. They're saying these complaints are anonymous, but let's face it. I mean, Jeffrey Hill, Colt Hill, right? All the same person. Becky's son was arrested for wiretapping. And when we were at the motion for new trial stage and reading those affidavits and hopeful that if that held water, more jurors will come forward. Now we're at this stage where the clerk's son that was in the computer department for the county is charged with one count of wiretapping. And I read the reports asking one court to take the case as opposed to the other for resource purposes. It looks like that court is taking that case. We're going to review that. I think I do have the documents up here. I'm almost 100% confident. I'm 99.9. If I'm 100% confident, then I'm confident. I'll just say I'm confident that I got the reports up. It's going to be in the next article. And we'll read those together. But it's letters basically taking over this. So the grand jury has subpoena power to investigate this further, to, subpoena witnesses to testify whether or not there's corruption going on in Colton County. And when Jeffrey, and it's very unfortunate because it wasn't, I was kind of batting for Becky, but as soon as her son was arrested for wiretapping, you saw one hot Betty coming out here. And my first thing that I said was, what? Don't tell me mama didn't know. And we went through the whole entire dissertation of why I said that. Hey, Nani, it's nice to see you, love bug. And the reason why is because, I'm sorry, if you're not from the South, you don't understand, and I'm not going to sit and try to explain it. Yeah, I am. I'll give you guys a few moments, right? It's because in the country, those boys are typically mama's boys, okay? Country boys are typically mama boys. That's why country boys treat their girls sometimes better. I don't want to paint with a broad brush, because there's a-holes in every lifestyle, right? There's good people and bad people in every type of lifestyle, every type of, whether it's country living, city living, there's whatever, it is for you. But for the most part, in the, you got a good family network, okay? And the son's not going to poo-poo on his mama without his mama knowing it, or his mama at least being okay with it. I'm sorry, you're not going to convince me otherwise. And knowing that and putting those pieces together, now granted, I didn't have to have anybody tell me that, but I think we're going to find out, because the way that they're moving this into the court system, it looks like they may potentially charge Becky with something. They're definitely investigating her, I can tell you that. And when Jeffrey was arrested, they took her phone. Like, that's serious. They're like, whoa, we're going to see what's going on here. And I pray to God she didn't try to delete or hide or cover up, because that is just going to make this look 10 times worse. 10 times worse. it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. I read in here of something like the book deal. She may have an ethical, because remember, one of the things that was, having me stand up for her as strongly as I was, is because I knew she went through the ethics board, to make sure that she had authority to write this book and distribute it. And they gave her the authority to do so. But it sounds like the ethics board is having a problem how she advertised the book, because she advertised the book almost in her official capacity as the clerk or something to that tune. I don't want to say, verbatim, but it's something to that tune where it was somehow advertising or whatever. My son's almost here's what Nani says. My son's almost 40 and he knows that I know. Hey, I'm 44 and trust me, Mama Bullhorn, if I mean, there's been some times like she's probably ready to pop me in the mouth. Okay. I still pop off at the mouth. Like I could be having a bad day and my mom, I'm not lying. Sometimes everybody knows what I'm talking about, right? Everybody has those bad days where you just kind of, right? So my mom and I are driving down the damn road one day and she's just, she has this thing, like when I'm upset, she has this nervousness about her where she just fills the air, the silent air with talking, right? So she's just talking and then she'll just say something off the wall like, did you know that Red Lobster over there is going to close down? And, just, and I'm like, nobody gives a shit about the damn Red Lobster closing down. My life is falling apart. So I get it. My mom probably needs to backhand me once or twice, at least once or twice a year, right? Because I'm one of those Christian that makes terrible mistakes all the time, right? Not terrible mistakes. Who am I fooling? But I'm a sinner. I'm not perfect. I don't strive for perfection. It's progress, not for perfection. And if you've been with me for a while, I think perfection is a fallacy. I do not believe in it. There's no such thing as it, except the only thing I'm perfect at is being a sinner, right? That really is. She influenced the jury and a man's, Mike, you're going to be eating this up. I can already hear. Mike's already got, Mike's been calling Mama Bullhorn and says, hey, Mama Bullhorn. It's Big Back Mike. I want to call. I've been arguing with your daughter now for a good solid year about the Murdaugh case. Okay. I told her he was innocent. I told her, I said, when he got on that darn stand and he had snot coming out of his nose, he was telling the truth. He was telling the truth. So Mama Bullhorn, I need that. I need that cattle whip. Your daughter's entirely too far away from me. And I think the cattle whip, if I whip it from here, I think can you send me the cattle whip? This is the conversation Big Mac Mike and Mama Bullhorn are having behind the scenes. I just want to let you know. Oh, wrong one. Kind of sounds like a whip. It kind of sounds like a whip. Big Mac Mike cracking the whip on old Bullhorn Betty. I need to get these buttons figured out. Yes, if you guys have any type of case that you'd like me to look into, look under the hood, see what's what, please send me it to bullhornbetty@gmail.com. Always put urgent or something in the title so it brings my attention to the name of the case, and I will review it. Not all cases can I take, and there are always lots of questions, which just reminds me, I remember telling somebody I'd look at a case when I got back. I got to go through my emails. I think I might already have a case that I need to look at. Actually, to be honest with you, I remember speaking to somebody and saying, as soon as I get back, I'll look into your case. And I mean, this is how it works. So sometimes you guys just have to remind me. I forget very easily because I'm always on the go. So if you guys send me something and I tell you I'm going to look at and you don't hear from me, reach back out to me and say, hey, Betty, I asked you about this. Can you give me an ETA? And I'll be like, oh, crap, I forgot, Don't beat me up for saying I forget, okay? I'm a busy lady, okay? I'm a busy lady. Don't be mean to me. I'm tired of people being mean to me. Guidance. There's guidance. Give me just a second. Let me get to guidance. Let's see what this says. I wish this thing would quit. Just stop. I don't like this thing. It drives me nuts. Every time I try to look at something, it won't let me look at it. It just keeps saying report. I don't want to freaking report it. There we go. Let's see here. I plan on being a working in progress until my last breath. I know, right? Where's guidance? Hold on. That's what I was coming in here for. I just want to provide everybody with the rules of the chat. I know that we have trolls in here, and I really don't care whether you're here or not. You guys can watch all you want. We have rules of this chat if you do not want to be blocked. The only rule of the Bullhorn Betty chat is don't be a dick. If you cannot follow that simple rule, you can say what you mean what you say without saying it mean. If you are unable or ill-equipped, unhinged, unstable, and just too childish and too petty to handle that simple task, I ask for each and every one of you to leave the chat. We shouldn't have to be your parents and put you in timeout. You should realize that you have no control over your own behavior long enough to actually hold an actual conversation. So again, sorry, I'm trying to do two things at once. There you go, guidance. You're in business. So if you cannot handle yourself in an adult-like manner and not be a dick in the chat, you don't need to be here. This is an adult chat room, okay? We don't have kids here. If we wanted to have kids here, we would have kids here. The only thing that we have is Kids Club, right? Those are shirts that help raise money for us to do more stuff for children. Duh! That's it. They're not here in this channel watching it, and occasionally when their parents let them, it's usually when I'm on my best behavior. But this is an adult chat room. This is for adult conversations about these true crime cases. So again, the only rule out there for everybody, and it's an equal opportunity chat, and it's an equal opportunity block, right? Don't be a dick. Okay. I didn't even read. I just happened to, and I'm ignoring them. I'm just talking about chat rules. That's all. We got new people coming in the chat, Miss Robin. You know, we got new people coming in the chat. We just want to make sure everybody follows the rules. Everybody knows the rules. I'm an innocent little girl up here. I didn't do nothing wrong. I'm just letting people know what the rules are. I mean, they seem like they want to conversate, so I just want to make sure that they know how to conversate on the Bullhorn Betty channel, because we teach people here. We teach people how to be upstanding, right type of people, right? How not to look so cray-cray. One rule. It's literally one rule. Who can't get one rule right? Right? Oh, sorry. This is for you, Miss Robin. I'm talking about other people and Miss Robin's mommying me. Now that's some funny stuff. We're all adults here. I got a mommy too, right? I got a few of them. I remember that one time. I remember that one time, you know, my little sister, I tell this story all the time. My little sister, you guys know she's much, much younger than me. I love her to death. Okay. She's it's just funny because the personalities and stuff, And I think that's why Olivia and I are so tight. You know, she reminds me, my sister works very hard, but she reminds me of my sister, and I get to kind of, you know, whatever. And so when Taylor was growing up, it was crazy because, you know, she used to always cry and say, you know, because we were older and, you know, we worried about her because we're adults, right? We know the dangers out there. So, you know, we're always on her butt. You know, it was me, my older sister, and my mom always on her butt. And I remember when she was, I can't even remember how old she was, 8, 9 years old or something like that. And she went into crying and she was tossing her head over. I don't want any of you. I don't have any sissies. I don't have any sissies. I got 3 mommies. I got 3 mommies. So what did I do after that? Every time I went over, it drove my mother nuts. Actually, I think she was younger than that because I know I was pushing her over and pulling her pigtails long before that. But said that, well, that's what I did. And she wants a sister? Okay, I'll give you a sister. You want a sister? No problem. I can do sister well. You know how I know I can do sister well? I can do sister well because I have a sister. I know how sistering's done, right? So now when Taylor was walking by, I just shove her, push her over. And she'd get frustrated, and my mom's like, why do you do that? I said, look, Mom, she wants a sister. I'm giving her a stinking sister. When the hell was Angela ever nice to me? I'm just saying. When was Angela ever nice to me? She cut my hair and stuck a ruler down my throat and almost killed me. I just want to know. I'm not doing that to Taylor. I'm just shoving her and pulling her pigtails. She's got a sister now. And I'm getting in trouble like a sister would get in trouble for mommy. So, hey, there we go. Now she has 2 mommies and a sister. I'm going to stop. So anyways, getting back to this, the closing argument, this is what one comment said. It says the closing argument on Court TV is available on YouTube. Will Folks does a one-on-one with Vinny, and then he brings on Neil. Neil talked mad crap about lawyer Lori. Then Vinny brings in Neil, Lori, and Matt on together. It gets weird, they say. It gets weird. After this, he has Eric Bland and Joe McCullough, I think that's how you pronounce the name, on to get a little on, and then it gets a little heated. Most interesting fact in this is, one, Eric's jurors have not entered anything under oath. Eric said they were happy to, but Sled said it wasn't necessary. So they're bringing out the point that, you know, the Hartpullian and, you know, Griffin and Hartpullian, they have, you know, at least 2 affidavits under oath right now. So it makes me, you know, wonder why. I mean, I was always, when I was in a law firm, I was always an ounce of prevention type of person. It's like, you know, if we needed something, whether it turns in like an affidavit, if it's something that's going to be needed down the road, or something that we want to refer to, or something that we just want to solidify witnesses and witness testimony, we have them fill out, you know, what's known as a affidavit. So basically what it is you ask them all the questions, they tell you the answers, and you type up the affidavit for them, and you send it over to them and ask them to review it and let you know if anything's missing, if something needs to be added, changed, modified. And once you get a final draft of that affidavit, you either send somebody from your office out there to notarize the document, or they take that document to their bank or to another notary and get it notarized and get it back to the attorneys. Some of these documents, like affidavits, stay in files. You know, you can have an affidavit. I mean, the truth is the truth, no matter what time you get it. There's no timeline on the affidavits, right? It doesn't expire. It's under oath. It's under penalty of perjury. So you've got these affidavits. So I don't understand why, Eric, maybe it's, you know, he is doing a lot of this stuff pro bono. It might just be, he just doesn't want to, you know, saddle his office with the tasks of reaching out to all these people and drafting affidavits if they're saying it's not necessary. But I just find it very concerning because, you know, Becky Hill it's hard. It's a hard pill to swallow. But as soon as her son was arrested for the wiretapping, my tune toward her changed significantly, because it removed the illusion that she is not, I like it. Politicians are held to obviously a standard, right? We vote them in office. We expect them to act professionally, ethically, and do the job that we've hired them to do. We, the bosses, we, the people, we are their bosses, right? That community votes for those people. That is their bosses are the residents, right? So we have never seen anything that would, at least for the limited background that I've done on Becky Hill, there was nothing that was that would show she would do things unethical or improper, right? However, as soon as her son was arrested for that wiretapping, whether he's got due process or not, I have to think that SLED, I know for a fact SLED is investigating this case because of the whole new trial thing. And if Becky costs that county additional money or the state additional money, that's not good. She's pretty much, if this is true, she's ruined her career. I mean, she might as well go ahead and close up shop and look for retirement, because after this, she's done. She might be done anyways, whether she did it or not, just because of the nature of the allegations. There's just going to be some people that believe she did it and some people that she believe that she didn't, and it's going to be like that no matter what you do, like whether she's found guilty or innocent. Either way you look at it, there's going to still be people that won't believe the ruling. So I don't know. But it was after that wiretapping and me knowing country boys. I know country boys very, very well. I'm a country girl. I'm a citified redneck. I always said that growing up, because our roots are Mayaca City in Manatee County. That's about as rural as you're going to get for Manatee County outside of DeWitt. And only a small little sliver of DeWitt is actually in Manatee County. So, the rural area of me growing up was Mayaca City. And so we've lived out there. I know country people. I see them every day. They live a completely different lifestyle than the people that live in town. I can tell you that. They're just a more relaxed environment. They love their country. They love hunting. They just love the left alone lifestyle. Like, just leave me the F alone. Let me do my thing lifestyle. That's basically what it is, because you're further out. There's not as much law enforcement. You just want to be left alone. But the families are tight, they go to their church, they're family oriented, and you don't talk back to your mama, and you damn sure don't talk back to your grandma or grandpa. You just don't. I can tell you, whether people believe in corporal punishment or not, country folk do. Okay. If you don't know it, country folk do. So you come up there with that nonsense. It doesn't have to be your mama or daddy, but you're going to get a country lady backhanding you. I can promise you that. And it doesn't even matter. In the country, you don't have to be that child mama. I'll tell you that. You hear somebody disrespecting, you might have a grandma from 2 rows down backhand you. That's how we were raised. You don't talk back. You do not talk back. You pick your ass up off the floor if you talk back. So agree or don't agree. But that boy ain't doing nothing without his mama's permission. I guarantee you that. That's what I'm saying. I may not know a lot, but I know me a country boy. And I know me a mama boy. And this person, right, that Jeffrey, you can see it in his face. He ain't doing crap without his mama's permission. He is not going to be sinking her boat behind her back. I can promise you that. And that is when I changed my mind about Becky Hill, because it was then and then alone that made me believe she is up for the task. She could do shenanigans behind the scenes. And I do believe that the reason why they took that phone is because they're going to prove that she did. They're going to prove. Now, does this have anything to do with the new trial? I asked Dick personally. How he felt with Jeffrey being charged with the wiretapping. And Dick told me when he answered the question that he hasn't gotten any information on it. He doesn't know whether it's related or unrelated. And he left it at that. He didn't want to respond. So it seems to me that it's when you don't respond, it's it's good for them, you know, and they're not wanting to jinx it or something like that. Because if it wasn't going for them, or going in their favor, they may want to over explain it or try to justify it, or already start setting the narrative for the result, if you will. I had to pick my own switch. Yep. You know it. You know it. Everybody may not agree with the lifestyle and stuff like that. Well, that, we don't agree with yours. So, not yours, obviously. I'm just speaking collectively, respectively. But I know a lot of people are like, I can't believe anybody hits their kids. Well, listen, you may not believe that, and that's good for you. But I'm telling you, you want to talk about people that are highly respectful, especially to their elders, you talk to the country folk. You may say we don't got it right. We don't have it right. Whatever we ain't got it right. I don't care how you say it. I think we kind of do a little bit, in part. But I had to switch. I had to pick mine. Boy, I remember the first time I had to pick my own switch. You're looking for the small, when you're a small girl and your mind's not thinking, right? It's those life experiences that make you think, right? So the first switch I picked, right? It was the smallest switch. Yay me! The smallest, thinnest switch I could find, right? Because it's small. My small brain processes it at this age. I think it was like 4 or 5, maybe 6, right? Can't remember what I did. I have no idea what I did. I'm sure it was bad. I'm sure somebody got like dirt in their face, or, I might have intentionally shoved my cousin over. I don't know what it was. You're talking about almost 40 years ago. I'm sorry. I got a good brain, but I can't recollect the specificity with that particular story. But I had to pick a switch. This is the first time I ever had to pick a switch. I wasn't alone. So I know that I think it was me and my cousin. It might been me and my sister. I can't remember. My sister picks the biggest, fattest switch out there, or whoever it was. I can't remember if it was my cousin or my sister. The biggest, fattest switch out there. And I'm looking at this monster and I'm like, that thing's not hitting me. I don't want that big thing swatting my butt. This little one over here, look, this one looks like mine. I learned very quickly, it only took one time for me to learn why my older sister always went for the bigger, fatter switches. Because the thinner ones, they hurt a lot more. I got a leather belt with my dad's name on it. Oh boy. All the fun we have. So that was interesting. Here's another one. I like this one for the opinion. It says, Neil honestly has always seemed weird to me. I don't know, weird. I mean, I've seen his interview. I just think he's the writers themselves, are, they can be eccentric, like eclectic. I know it's like a style, but they can, even in their writing style. There's just it takes a certain type of person and creative brain to write some stuff. So, look at Stephen King and the crap he writes. Like like I can't even read the damn book. It scares me, let alone watch the movie, right? But I don't know. I don't know if he's weird. I don't know if that's the right word. He's more, in my opinion, kind of observant and analytical. But I've only seen him in like literally one interview. I haven't even seen this interview yet. I'm just reading what we found out. I have struggled to get through any of his. I have struggled to get through any of his interviews because he comes off as, I'm not sure the right phrase. He says creepy. fake nice is what he refers to it. Arrogant, but not very intelligent. I don't know if I got that observation. I don't know if I agree with that observation at all, because I didn't get that really. The first interview I saw Neil in, I thought he was just trying to explain what happened. I didn't really take that he was weird or odd. I never got that vibe from him, but maybe I need to go back and look. Maybe there's something else that I'm not seeing. Quoting Will Smith in the most unlikable moment of his career was particularly bad judgment. An ethical complaint for reading from the legal document and cursing. I know some lawyers that have a big laugh over a couple of drinks tonight while using all the cussy words, I guess it is, cuss words. His need to belittle everyone else, from the little podcaster about Matt Harris podcast, and make it sound like his old school journalist is just as repulsive. He sold ads for Augusta Press. His current publication is just selling ads, and it's barely known as Augusta or Augusta, whichever you prefer. Beyond that, he really thinks he put out a good book that shows terrible judgment in his part professionally. The book is written as if it's a third. I haven't read it, so I don't know if it's written as a third grade book report. I have to say that this is, to me, this is a little overboard. I think it's pretty insulting too. I don't know if I agree with the assessment, but in all fairness, I haven't read the book, so I can't agree with this assessment without reading the book. And I have seen Neil speak before, and I've previewed some of Neil's stuff, and I don't really find him creepy. I don't find that. I thought he was nice. I thought he was genuine from my observations when I saw him, discussing the book personally. So I don't know what your thoughts are, but that's it that I've got on that. And then here's the post in the Courier. This is kind of more explanation into why, the wiretapping and what have you. And it does have, there's the letters right there. And these are the big concerns. I know you can't really see them, but this little box, let me see if we can, there we go. This little box right here, that is a letter. And this is a letter right here. See that? So we're going to read those. This is the one that is making me feel like, they're moving forward with something. I don't know what, but it definitely looks like something. So the way this article reads is that the Attorney General's office will take the lead on prosecuting former Colton County Director Jeff Colton Hill after local prosecutors asked to have the grand jury investigate his conduct. In a December 4th letter, the Attorney General Alan Wilson told 14th Circuit Solicitor Duffy Stone that he was just taking jurisdiction of the case, which has so far resulted in a wiretap charge against Hill. But Wilson's spokesman, Robert Kittle, would not say if the state grand jury or secret panel with sweeping powers to investigate crimes like public corruption would take up the matter. I'm going to tell you right now, this second letter is them agreeing to take up the matter. So it says, the Office of Attorney General has reviewed your correspondence of November 28, 2023, referencing SLED case number 59-23-0008 and 31-23-0092. After discussing this matter with you and my staff, the OAG has decided to assume jurisdiction for all prosecutorial actions related to these cases. Thank you for the willingness to assist inquiries as inquiries continue. So there is that. And then this is the actual request that they made. And this is what the original request said. It says the above style referenced investigations involves potential public corruption in Colton County. It is currently being investigated by SLED and is under review by the 1st and 14th Circuit Public Integrity Unit. This investigation would benefit from the use of state grand jury, as it is an investigative grand jury equipped to issue subpoenas and compel sworn testimony in order to discover public corruption. In short, the state grand jury process considerably broadens the investigative authority and individual grand jury. For this reason, I'm formally asking you to impanel the state grand jury to continue this investigation. So there you go. This is, again, a little concerning for me. And I was worried when the motion for new trial came out. And then when I reviewed the affidavits, it kind of calmed me down a little bit. And then when this came out about her son, that was kind of it for me. I believe that she does have what it takes to tip the hands of, if you're going to let your son break the law. And I'm going to say she let him, because again, I'm going off my opinion that he's a mama's boy and he would make a move like that without mama knowing about it. So I'm going to go off my experience in this matter, especially with mama boys. And I'm going to say that, yeah, I think she has what it takes to do some underhanded stuff, because I clearly believe she did already. I didn't have that information before, but now I feel like we do. It's not her, it's her son. How could I make such a leap? Well, because I'm allowed to have opinions, and I can make that leap just like everybody else, right? If you choose not to, that's on you. I'm saying that I'm making that leap. I do not believe that Colton would have acted. He would never have jeopardized his mother without her permission and strategy. It is not something that he just decided, oh, well, let me go check this out. He knew what his mom was going through. I don't know. I just don't see him doing it. I could be wrong. Yeah, it may be proven that his mama knew nothing about it. It is possible. It is, there's possible and probable. I just don't think it's probable. I think it's possible. I just don't think it's probable. I think Becky knew everything. And that's my stance. I do. So I haven't really reviewed the Brian Kohberger case in a while, and I just thought I'd pull up the docket and go over a couple things while we're here before we call it a day. I'll be back on later today. I got some paperwork that needs to get filed this morning, and some other stuff that I need to do. I've got to get, we have a hearing coming up on the 12th, so I've got to get, I got to call down there and make sure I'm on scheduled for telephonics. So that's it in a nutshell. And what I saw on here is the notice of camera submission. This was several days ago, but there's a few things that we haven't discussed, like the state's response to the defendant's 10th supplemental request for discovery, motion to temporary seal stipulation and order of transfer and in the actual order, and the notice of in-camera submission. So I'm just going to go up here to the 10th, defendant's 10th supplemental request and just see what it has. And this is coming from Brian Kohberger and counsel, and they're basically saying that the state incorporates the following response as fully set forth to point. State's response to discovery filed on January 2023. State's response to defendant's first supplemental request, February 21st. Discovery filed on 3/29. Discovery filed on May 12th. State's response on May 12th. State's, it just goes through all of this. And let's see, that's about it. I don't see really, let's see. That's it. That was pretty lame. And then the last thing, oh, did I kill that? Hold on, let me go. Let me just see what this in-person camera is, what it says. And this one just says, come now, state of Idaho, Layla County, hereby. Yeah, and we have already read that in-camera review of the IGG information. So they're going to be doing that in-camera inspection. I wonder what's going to come of that. I'm really interested in the arguments related to the IGG stuff, because that's stuff that's making headways, and it's a new tool that they're going to be utilizing, and it's been getting great results from it. So I don't see where they're not going to be utilizing blah, 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 utilizing it in the future. I got to get tongue tied. My brain is moving faster than my mouth this morning. So that's really all I have. That's really all I have to go over today. I'm going to be dropping some videos today. I'm trying to get all the Alec Murdaugh crap off my phone, because this one here, it only has 128 gigs, and it's got the Alec Murdaugh stuff. So I'm going to try to get some footage from here and get some videos, some Alec Murdaugh videos pushed out, as you see, because I went out and I spoke to Don Wells. I'm renewing the push for Summer Wells. I did have a conversation, as I said before, with Don while I was out in Tennessee. He looked healthy. He was gaining weight. His eyes were clear. So at least when I saw him, for whatever it's worth, he didn't look like he was on substances or alcohol. We're in a really big pickle, because I'm searching for his daughter, and I think he's the primary suspect. One of them. I think that they know a little more than what they say. I don't know what that means. I don't know how much that means or what it is. But we're just in a pickle. They're in a pickle. I'm in a pickle. Everything keeps coming back to that house. It's, there's no real new suspects. Everybody that could have done it has been put on a list and has either been cleared or still not cleared. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You're either still on the list or you're not. But it's just unfortunate, because again, everything comes back to that house and there's no explanation for it. When we were there, now mind you, we're there in December, so it's much cooler. The leaves on the trees, have already fallen off. So you can see through there. And when I saw him up there, he was just about this big on top of this huge mound. And you got this little Tonka vehicle that has the hood up, and, he's tinkering with. And so I just hollered up there and asked him if he'd be willing to, talk to me off the record. No cameras, no nothing, just chat with me. He came down. If I knew he was going to record me, I would have just recorded the damn conversation, but he does have the only recording of that conversation. If, he's wanting to put that out, hopefully he'll send me a copy. So I have a good copy of it for my files. That'd be great, Don. Send Bullhorn Betty a copy of that whenever you can. But he has the only copy of that conversation that we had. So, if he feels comfortable with it, he's more than welcome to share it with each and every one of you. But there was no screaming and yelling at all. We talked to each other, and I talked to him about some of the things, my policies is even as much as, when children are taken from the home, I don't think it's fair that children are permanently taken from homes. If a child is permanently taken from a home, a crime was committed against that child. And I find it very appalling that the parents are not arrested for those crimes. And not only that, but it protects the ones that didn't do a crime either, right? They have due process. So they have to prove that they've committed a crime in order to take their children away from them. This idea that DCS can just come in and snatch your children and you not get arrested for a damn thing and never be able to see your child again. I think that I don't know how other people feel about that, but I'm not comfortable with that design at all. I'm not comfortable. I want there to be due process, true due process, not family court due process. If a parent has done something so bad to a child that results in that child being removed from that home for as a permanent solution, never see mommy and daddy again, I'm sorry. I have a problem with no charges being filed against any parent. If you've got enough to pull that child away from that home indefinitely, then there is some significant things that happen to that child, and those parents better be charged. Better be charged. So, but again, I think it would be better because again, they don't have to, they can't take the child without charging the parent. If they charge the parent, they have to prove that the parent did these things in order to keep those kids away. If in the courts they find out that the parents didn't, those kids should be immediately turned over to the parents, period. Or if it doesn't rise to the level of permanent removal, then it's time to get them back to the parents as quickly as possible. And that's my stance on it. It's my stance. And I just think that no child should ever be permanently removed without a parent being arrested. I'm sorry. And that's a benefit for Don, because if he didn't do anything to Summer and he didn't do anything to the boys, them taking away the boys and not charging him with any crimes, that would not be happening right now. They would either have to charge him with a crime or give him his boys back. So I just don't agree with a lot of the systems. And that's why we do what we do. That's why we get out there. That's why we go to these meetings. That's why we go to the county meetings. That's why we advocate, right? Because somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to do it. And I can tell you, out of the entire place here on YouTube, if somebody does go to their county meetings on here that's a content creator, I'd be shocked. I'd be shocked. I go to mine. You know, it's not just about talking the talk, it's about walking the walk as well, in my opinion. My mom used to quote the Bible, spare the rod, spoil the child. I was a spoiled child in way of privilege and getting everything I wanted, but I learned you never lie or disrespect your elders. Absolutely. Absolutely. Us country folks, though, I mean, I remember hearing stories, you know, the stuff today is not, you know, like the laws that you have today was not the laws that you had back then. And I even remember like hearing, you know, it's just a different culture, a different time. You know, men were abusive to women, and women didn't have a whole lot of recourse. But I even heard that, you know, I think it was my grandfather. No, it wasn't my grandfather. I think it was my great grandfather or my great grandmother or something. I don't remember, but I'll just tell you, it ended with a frying pan being thrown. And if you ever put your hands on me again, I'll kill you. That's the country. That's the country way. Okay. I don't make up the rules. I just don't make up the rules. I just think it was Candace, and he knows about it. You know, I don't know. It's kind of hard here because here's my pickle. I mean, Don Wells was sober. I'm not going to go into our conversation about it, but I will, you know, tell you guys some of my observations. I'd like to get some information back on the whole thing about Summer's clothes and whether the boys were with Don Wells. Okay, here's the breakdown of it. And this is in all fairness, and this is, you know, Don Wells knows me. I've never lied to Don Wells about who I am or what I believe. I've never disrespected him like that. I will not disrespect him like that. I've always, you know, when people kept talking down about him and saying he's dumb as a box of rocks, I was the one saying, you guys are underestimating Don Wells. You're underestimating Don Wells. I've always respected Don Wells, believe it or not. Did I get him kicked off a job? Yes, I got him kicked off a job. Was he fired? No, he was not fired. He went to work. Okay. I don't care what he says. He knows that it's true. He was able to he went to a different job site. So let's cut the crap. Right. But that house, when we were out there, what was I getting at? It's the Don Wells. Oh yeah. The boys. So we talked about several things, and I asked him, you know, several questions. One thing he didn't really look at me in the eyes very much. He would look me in the eyes, you know, occasionally, but, you know, he didn't really look me in the eyes a whole lot, which I always get a little EBGB with when people are talking to me but aren't looking at me. Because, I mean, if you know anything about me, when I have a conversation with anybody, I look at them in their eyes when I'm talking to them. If it were in a noisy environment, believe it or not, I have to look at their mouth because I have hearing problems. So in a louder environment, I can't hear what somebody's saying. So I actually have to read their lips. And when it came to the boys, I asked him about whether he had the boys with him at work. And at first he, tried to say no, he did not. And so I said, well, Don, I confirmed that the boys were with you. I got it corroborated. And I got it corroborated that you left work between 1:30 and 2:30 and that nobody saw you come back. Did you come back? And if so, what time? So long story short, he talked. I mean, like I said, I was casual with him. It wasn't, I wasn't screaming or anything like that. I was just asking him questions and he was responding respectfully. I'm not going to lie. He was responding respectfully. He didn't raise his voice. It wasn't like a phone call where he calls me a B and a WHOR, you know what I'm saying? It was, a respectful conversation, but he never really answered the questions that I had. I'm not going to fight with him. I'm not going to challenge him. I'm not going to push him. I'm going to ask him. And, I expect the question to be answered. And in all fairness, he didn't answer any of my questions. We had a good conversation for 45 minutes out there on the side of the road. But with all the talking, he never really answered any of my questions. And whenever I was asking him, we got a little pickle here because the problem is, Don, I'm out here looking for your daughter. I care about your daughter. And that's a little bit of a problem for you because my issue is I'm coming back to this house. Everything keeps coming back to this house. Can you explain it? I mean, I'm really trying to understand. I really am. I mean, it's 3 years later, I'm willing to listen. Tell me what you know. Tell me who could have done this. Tell me what other tree to shake, who do you need me to go see? Let's think about this. I mean, at this point, we've gone through just about every person on his list. So, that's why I said, him and I agreed that we're in a pickle and that there's really nobody else to look at. I further asked him, and while I was standing there looking up at his house, I said, Don, how did this happen? Well, somebody came up. How did they get up there? Your driveway? Well, maybe the dog path. I said, Don, but there's a kid right there in that lower house right there on the other side of the thing, right there. Granted, they had cameras, but it's a lower property. And I'm sure if somebody's snatching kids, they really don't care about the damn cameras. They snatch and grab, which is what they're saying that happened to Summer, except this child over here doesn't require you scaling a mountain. I didn't go through all that with him. I just said, how did this happen? I just want, I seriously really want to know. And, he doesn't know. That's what he says. He doesn't know. He doesn't know if it's the dog trail. He doesn't know if he came up the driveway. They just don't know. And the way I was reading the reports related to the dog hit, it doesn't mean that Summer went down that dog path. It just means that her scent was carried down the dog path, if that's what hit. And I asked him, I said, why wouldn't your daughter scream, scream, and if somebody's taking her off the property, why isn't she screaming all the way down the thing? And he goes, maybe she did, and they just didn't hear her. I said, well, I talked about the guy with the bare foot that lives on the other side of the mountain and explained that, look, he heard Candace screaming out for Summer, and he could clearly hear her, and he never heard Summer call back. Do you know which guy I'm talking about? And he said he didn't. And, I think that's really all because I promised Don I would, there was some information I wouldn't share because he was reluctant to provide me it. But I gave him my word I wouldn't share the additional information that he provided me. But I will tell you that he at least did do that. He did provide me some additional information during our conversation. It just isn't something I'm able. If he releases the video of me, if you guys see that released online, send me a copy of it. Because if it's released online and he did cut that part out, I will discuss it. But I mean, we were on public he had every right to record me, just like I had every right to record him. But to be honest with you, I wanted him to be frank with me. And it was either getting the footage or getting the conversation. I'd still had the conversation with the footage. It's just that he wouldn't have been so reluctant to open up had the cameras been up. And I needed him to open up a little bit. At least I hoped he would have opened up a little bit. But again, like I said, my only issue is, he's a nice guy. He seemed like he was clean and sober when he talked to me. He had some balls to come down there because he didn't know how I was going to act. Everybody's got him thinking I'm a crazy woman. I listen, I don't like being lied to. Okay. And there's just, it is a pet peeve of mine. It goes beyond pet peeve. It is just an irritant. Do not freaking lie to me. Like, I can handle a lot. Believe me, I can handle a lot, and I can handle the truth. I'm a big girl. All right. I'm a big girl. But when I give you an opportunity to tell the truth and you decide to lie, I'm telling you, it is one of the biggest mistakes you could do for Bullhorn Betty. You do not lie to me. Tell me the truth. I give you that courtesy. I expect that courtesy back. So when Don Wells had me traveling all over, not just me, but the team had us traveling all over Rogersville and Hawkins County for a half a day, wasting our time. Yeah. You got now when I find you, yeah, we're not going to have that cordial conversation anymore. The conversation that we had at his truck just a few days ago would have been the conversation that we would have had that morning about Summer Wells. It wouldn't have been an attack. It would have been a conversation. And I tried telling him that. And I tried telling him that over and over and over again. And because the hate channels told him, if I see him, I'm going to be attacking him and I'm going to twist his words and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. No, I'm not. Those are lies. People need to quit listening to everybody else's lies about me. They are lies. Hell, even one creator yesterday was going off about my live yesterday and says, oh, we can't believe her. Well, I really didn't look into the facts. Well, which is it? I didn't look into the facts, but let me just call people liars. That is the most idiotic thing I have ever think I have ever heard this creator say. And she was absolutely honest that she did not look at all into the allegations or facts. That is somebody that is absolutely, utterly manipulating their audience for a click and a view and an attack on me. I'm just saying. Anyone ever play grit ball with a cast iron skillet? No, I haven't. I haven't. Let's see. Many searchers stayed right in the area. Even his PI stayed there to search. Also, the lead detective says he believes Summer is in that area. Yeah. Thank you, Betty. I've been waiting a long time for you to go back to talking to him. I'm so proud of you. Thank you, Dawn. Yeah, and I'm sure he's not, but in all fairness, I've never lied to Don. He knows how I feel about him. I'm not saying that he is a bad guy. I mean, I am. He's done some terrible things, but I want his help to help find Summer Wells. And his reluctancy to help is my biggest problem. That's my biggest problem. If he wasn't so reluctant to help, and wasn't so reluctant to keep Candace so far away from answering any questions that the public truly has about what happened that day, I'd feel a little different. But the way I'm looking at it is I'm watching a man that is not allowing the last person that saw Summer Wells alive to speak to people. And he's not holding eye contact with me when I'm having a very important conversation with him about his daughter. Again, I don't know what that means, and I'm not going to be accusatory. Like I told Don, I've judged you enough. Right now, I'm willing to listen. I'm willing to listen. And I said that to him to his face out there. I gave Don Wells a handshake and a hug. I did. And I asked about Candace and asked about her heart. And I told her, I told him, I said, I'm a bitch. Don't get me wrong. I know who I am, but I'm not a heartless bitch. That's the difference. I'm not a heartless bitch. And I know parents can do terrible things and still love their child. I'm not oblivious to that. But nobody can answer why we keep coming back to that house, why all leads and Summer go right back to that house, and the behaviors after that moment from everybody involved. It was behavior that was odd. It was odd behavior. Law enforcement observed it. We observed it. Other people observed it. However, it became popular to take up for the people that are deemed the suspects on the streets of YouTube. And it's a very profitable. It's very profitable. And so that's what they did. These hate channels taking these parents, they trample them across. They try to beat and club other creators over the head that don't agree with them and believe that the parents are not who they say they are. And then they attack them, right? And it's just this nasty, but you always, every time these, and this is how I gauge parents. It depends on which channels do you go to. Do you, are these parents, circling hate channels and profit-making scheme channels to generate money for themselves, or are they going to legit channels to get their child's name out there? I pay very close attention to that behavior. Who are these parents going to? What channels are these parents going to? That determines for me very much, because I'm sorry, I'm a value and moral person, and this couldn't say it any. This explains it the best.
You are who you hang out with. They're not likely you're going to get too far away from your roommates. So if your 5 roommates are all shredded yogi instructors that drink kale smoothies, one of 2 things is likely happening. You're going to be the 6th, or you're getting new friends, if they're your best friends. That's going to happen. If all of your friends piss and moan about working and capitalism and being held to a standard, the chances that you're going to buck that trend for any length of time is very low. And one of 2 things will then happen. You will either become like them, or you will get new friends. And that's not some elitist shit. It's just one of the ways we connect is through shared values. And you're gonna have a really hard time being friends with someone closely whose values are wildly different than your own. Like, we like to say opposites attract.
And that's it. It comes down to values, right? Values. So I don't know what's going on. I got like this thing going on. Just started. Guys, I see that several new people. Oh, yeah, I got you yesterday. I see that several new people are in the chat. So I just wanted to say hi to everybody that has come in since. We are building up. As you guys know, we're dealing with some stuff on the other channel, but this channel has been doing just fabulous. So we're going to continue going down this channel. We're going to continue to get it monetized. We'll have it monetized. I have a funny feeling we're going to have this channel monetized by the end of the week. I really, truly believe that. So keep watching the channel. Keep getting those watch hours up. We're going to continue to do this. We've got less than a week. We're going to be, if we can work really super, super duper duper hard, we can get this channel back up and running and get it monetized by the end of the week. Maybe Bullhorn Betty will not have to go without a paycheck for an entire week. And there are some rumors going around that I am ban evading. I don't know where, like, people, they just sit around and talk about, and nobody looks into anything. They're like, oh, she's ban evading, but not one person. You can Google anything else, but you can't Google up definitions. I'm not ban evading. My account on the other side's not even suspended. Okay. I'm allowed to run live. I'm allowed to make money on any of my other channels. If this was a monetized channel, I could make money on this. I mean, it's just that simple. A copyright strike is going to go away in 10 days because the lady has to sue me. She's obviously on drugs and doesn't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out at, right? And I'm probably going to make a pit stop by her house the next time I'm there. Of course, on public property. I don't want anybody feeling unsafe or fearful because I'm just not like that. But I'm pretty sure she's not going to want to see me across her street on a live stream. But c'est la vie, c'est la vie. You know, that's what happens. It is. So, with that being said, we will be out in Tennessee again. We have a reason to take a trip now. The sad part is that there's real people behind the stories people follow, but are often treated as if they are some kind of fictional character. That's it, right? Yeah, absolutely. I can tell you, I'm a human being. I bleed red, and there are some insane people out here on the streets of YouTube that try to justify their bad behavior. And there are idiots out here that support them for doing it. I'm sorry. And I'm sorry. You know what, Robin? I know we're supposed to be trying to get away. I'm sorry. I've got a lot to say about this whole bullying thing. I'm over it. I'm over it. And I'm going to keep saying that every single day. I'm over it. And I hope people start listening. Bullying is illegal in all, cyberbullying and cyber harassment is illegal in all 50 states. If you are engaging in it, you are breaking the law. And that's something you are going to have to understand and deal with. If you are a law and order person, quit breaking the law. If it makes you feel good to hurt somebody else for no good reason other than to hurt them, it's time for you to seek help. It's time for you to go to a gym. It's time for you to go start kickboxing. It's time for you to do something else with your time. Because you are very miserable and you've got to find out why you're that miserable. And I'm saying that from a place of absolute love. All right, guys, you guys have a great day. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something, because an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Until next time, be safe. We need to all be safe. And we all need to be kind to one another, especially in the comment box below. Let me help you out. Everybody, all together, don't be a dick. Say it out. Say it again. I can hear you guys screaming. I can hear you guys at the TV, at the computer, at your phone right now. Raise your voice and say it with me. Don't be a dick. All right. Baby Gap. Now that was some funny stuff. Oh, Mel, you have done missed everything. You have done missed everything. There we go. There we go. That is our motto here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. I want to thank all the beautiful people that are coming over here to the new channel and making it right, because every time you come over here and you give this channel a view, guess what you're doing? You're telling those haters you did not win, right? Because we have been rocking it out on this channel with nothing, right? We're building this channel up. We have over 1,300 people already signed up for this channel. We still have not skipped a beat. This is us telling those haters you did not win, you did not succeed, and we will keep coming back. We will keep fighting, and we will keep doing our good work. Evil will not win. We are a God-fearing channel, and we fight evil each and every day. And if that means we got to fight this like we're fighting it, we will. But we will not be intimidated. We will speak the truth, and we will not be shut up for doing so. I'm Bullhorn Betty. I'm just going to tell these haters something that they don't want to acknowledge. No matter where I go, I will always be successful. Why? Because I work for it. That's why. You will never, ever destroy me because I work for it. And we have a lot of support. Let me tell you guys a story. So yesterday, Mama Bullhorn was over here, right? As you can imagine, yesterday was a pretty rough day for me. That was one of the hardest things I think I have ever done in my life. I was nervous. I was almost vomiting. My body was shaking. So my mom came in and picked me up. She wanted me to stay the night at her house. She was very concerned about me. I won't lie. And so I'm just like, no, I just need to go. And, why don't we go out and split a burger, because there's a burger place that has delicious burgers. And so I was like, why don't we split a burger? But they're huge. Why don't we split a burger and have a beer? I said, if you guys know me, I really don't drink. I drink occasionally, so it's not like I'm opposed to drinking. I just don't really drink. It's just not something I do here every day. What I drink here at the house is coffee and water. Occasionally, I'll have a glass of wine. Occasionally, I'll have a cocktail. Occasionally, I'll have a beer. I didn't want to go extravagant. My nerves are just shot, right? So me and Mom, we split a burger and we have a beer. And then she brings me back to the house. And one thing she said to me when she was leaving, and she said, I just want to tell you, you have some of the most loyal and strongest supporters. She's like, you are so lucky. She said, she doesn't worry about me. And just hearing that from Mama Bullhorn really melted my heart, because she was saying such nice, generous things about each and every one of you, because she knows how much you guys love me. And so I just thought it was ultra sweet. You guys are part of our family, and I hope we're part of yours. So anyways, guys, I just thought I'd share that little bit with you. I hope you have a wonderful day. God bless you. And again, please be kind in the chat boxes. You don't know what's going on in somebody's life. And like I always say when closing out my show, you could really make or break somebody. And we've, discussed that very thing, right? We need to take care of ourselves, and we need to take care of the people around us. So with that being said, God bless each and every one of you. Oh yeah. And Mama Bullhorn had me send our beloved Justice for All a little picture. She's like, you need to take this and send it to him. He'll get it. He'll get it. I'm like, Ma, what do you, just take it and send it to Justin. Okay, Ma, Mom is right? You don't want to piss off Mama Bullhorn. Did I tell you about those cast iron skillets? I'm sorry, Mama. I ain't trying to be on the other end of that cast iron skillet. So you got it. You want me to take a picture and send it to Justin? Yeah, I'm on it. I'm on it. Stay right there. All right, guys, you take care and God bless. Have a great day. I'm getting off here. We're done. I'm gonna put something on for you guys to watch. Okay, well, we're done. All right, I love you guys.